All right, guys, so let me try to simplify project management for you. If you are new to project management and if you have no idea what project management is or what a project manager does, let me try to explain that with a one pager here, as you can see. So, what I wrote down here is I'll walk you through, right? So, if you are looking to get into project management, the role that you would do is called project manager. So what does a project manager do? He does execute projects. So that's the middle box here, which is called execute a project. So that's fine, but what does execution or execute a project mean? So first, let's define what a project is. So what is a project? So by definition, project is an initiative to create a unique product or service that delivers value. So initiative means it's a temporary endeavor that is started, and at the end of the project we would have a product. So for example, let's say your famous car manufacturer, let's say Ford, is building a brand new car. So that's a project, right? And at the end of that project, you will have a product, which is their new line of car. So you can think of any product that is created in the market. It is created by executing a project, or it could be a service. For example, you are used to paying bills by going to the shop and doing it manually, but now there is a online service where you can create an account to pay your electricity bill. So in order to provide you that service, someone might have created a project, make electronic payment possible, right? So that's an example of service. So a project is a temporary initiative to create a unique product or service that provides some value to the end user, right? So that's the definition of a project. Now you understand that. Let's look at what entails the project. There are so many things in project, but I narrowed it down to 5 things which is easy to follow and understand. The number one is labor. So without people, we cannot create a project. So we need people to do the work. So that's why I created labor. And whenever there is people, we need to pay them. So there is cost associated with it. Then we have materials. So if you're building a car, you need to get all the raw materials to build the car. If you're creating a online services to pay electricity bill, then you might need to acquire certain softwares or acquire certain components like hardware or servers, things like that. So that is all material. Then scope. So whenever there is material, also there is cost, right? So you cannot buy a material without spending anything. So that's another thing. Then we have scope. What is scope? Is what are we trying to accomplish or what are we trying to deliver through this project? If the scope is not defined, then every project have a budget, right? Based on the labor, material, and scope, there is a budget that is assigned to the project. For example, if you're going to buy a car, you would have a budget in mind. You want to spend 50,000 or 100,000, whatever that budget is. If you don't scope it within that budget, then you can go and buy a Ferrari and you'll have to spend $500,000, right? So scope controls what we want to do. We don't want to go overboard and spend too much money, so we can only accomplish what can be done within the scope of the budget and the scope of the project. If we are given 2 lakh or 200,000 to manufacture a car, then we have to buy cheaper materials to build that car. All right, so now we define the scope. Next is schedule. So we come up with a timeline based on what we know, what we have to deliver. We will then plan and estimate how much time it's going to take to create that service or product. So that's where schedule comes into play. And last but not least, it's communication. As a project manager, you have to keep everyone together, everything cohesive. So you have to be constantly communicating with the team, with the people who sponsored this project. Typically, all those are stakeholders, right? Everybody who has an interest in this project, we have to keep them we have to keep them in constant contact with decisions, issues, risk, anything that is listed here. So basically, in a nutshell, as a project manager, as you manage these things, you would have to manage all the issues that comes up as part of the project execution, all the costs. Sometimes there is not enough money, there is sometimes too much money, you have to manage that. Sometimes the scope can get more, or we call it as scope creep, meaning somebody would say I need more features than what was initially planned, we can do that, but then it would be impacting our budget. So that's why it's important to manage your scope, cost, and timeline pretty tight, keeping all the people in the loop and executing the project in a very smooth way. So that is a simplified version of project, but in overall, we are trying to solve a problem. So problem solving also is part of the project. All right. So that's it. There you go. Now you understand project management and what a project manager does. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and let me know if this helped you to understand things in a pretty easy way without in a formal setting. All right. See you. Bye.